So today I was at the bank and there was a long queue, and everyone was on their phone like this, and I've been waiting there for 10 minutes. I think they had one cashier because of it being COVID secure in the bank, but it was very good, because the British, one good thing, if you're going to define Britishness, that's the queuing system. Everyone knew their place, they were all standing in a line, COVID secure, and it was all beautiful. Anyway, I just got to the bank door, where you start going inside, mask on, and this bloke tried to get in. He tried to miss out the queue, and a bit of hostility broke out, in the sense that someone yelled, "What are you doing?" And he said, my wife, or something. First of all, he was just standing there, and you could see people were getting tense, and people coming off their phones. That's how tense it was. And then they started to bunch up behind me, because obviously no one wanted to give up their space. They've been queuing for ages. And I went like this, like I was stretching in the door so no one could get in. I wasn't going to let him. So it's like I was in a constant state of stretch, hanging onto the door, and I swear I could feel he was getting closer and closer to me. He wasn't going to give up. And then there was a guy who was right down the bottom, who was holding two bikes, obviously waiting for someone. And he goes, "What's he doing?" And and so he goes, I could hear him, my wife's in there," and I pretended not to hear him, still stretching. And then I could feel his hot breath on my neck, and I pretended that it didn't exist. And then the guy in the bank actually said he can come in. So I stopped stretching and let him in. And I realised that everyone had bunched up right behind me because they were a bit pissed off. And we'd created this COVID soup. And like the virus could go literally hop on your shoulder to shoulder and straight onto your head. And I didn't know whether I should say, back off, we're in a COVID soup. But I just went back to looking at my phone. It did occur to me, maybe some of the people had a jab because they were quite old and they didn't give a fuck. They thought, I'm one jab, I'm all right, because they just stood there. Anyway, I went in the bank and stood another half an hour, and then that was it really. Cheers.